The Indiana University football enjoyed a very prosperous 4th of July weekend with a number of fireworks going off for the Hoosiers as they land 4-star Ronnell Jackson out of Missouri, beating a lot of top schools for his services. We're going to learn more about Ronnell and his commitment to the Indiana Hoosiers right here on the Hoosier Football Tailgate on thehoosier.com. Hello again, everybody. My name is the Coach Shannon Griffith here at the Hoosier Football Tailgate on thehoosier.com, powered by on3.com as well. And the Indiana Hoosiers enjoyed a very, very nice 4th of July weekend with a lot of fireworks going off, but no more important than Ronnell Jackson, a 4-star edge rusher from Missouri. Blue Springs area of Missouri, 6'4", 245, made a commitment to Indiana, also vaulting the Hoosiers into the top 25th, 26th spot in the rankings overall right now and within the top 10 of the Big Ten. So Coach Signetti and staff are enjoying a very prosperous 2026 recruiting class that has a lot of defensive flavor. And we're going to take a quick look here at Ronnell and his look here that's provided by On3 and Rivals, who is now a part of the On3 network. As you can see here, 6'4", 245 edge player for Blue Springs High School there in Missouri. You can see his composite scores as well. A very, very well thought of football player in terms of overall. He's the number 3 ranked player in Missouri overall, the number 30th edge overall. Right now, you can see early on, Kansas State had the early prediction for his services, including over in Missouri as well. But the Indiana Hoosiers snuck in and basically stole one out from underneath the Missouri and Kansas State as Ronnell made his commitment to Indiana this past weekend. And a very, very good player. We're going to jump on over to our Quick Cut scouting service as well and talk a little bit about this young man and what he brings to the table for the Hoosiers. And let's see if there we go. Get everything lined up again. Remember, everything with highlight videos, you're not going to see a bad play, but what we're looking for and evaluating is his ability as a defensive player with a Brian Haynes defense, where you're looking at his ability to rush, his ability to move laterally, vertically, all those things that tie into being a good player. And when a kid gets a 4-star rating, more than likely he's in the term field of a no-doubter. And for the most part, that's what you're going to see here from this young man for Blue Springs High School. And again, only a junior. He's got a lot of room to grow. Here's the first play for me. Really kind of sold it in some respects, is that his get off is really good. He gets by, but he runs down the quarterback from the backside, keeps him from gaining any more yardage out of the pocket, and does a great job there. Now you see him with his hands in the ground in a 4-man front. Again, bringing his steps into the inside there, a quick upfield charge, getting underneath, and then making the sack there in the backfield. And again, with what Indiana likes to do, they can put him in the ground, his hand in the ground, or put him up as a linebacker with what they're going to do with Kamara this season. And you can see why Indiana likes this young man. Now, unblocked players make plays. This is exactly one of those, but you can see the speed at which he comes off that edge. It's a very, very quick and fast defensive edge player that Indiana has gotten from Ronnell. Again, here's one where you get to see him take on a blocker, does a good job of getting off of him and making a good solid tackle. Here is on a punt return situation. Again, explosion from his first 2 steps is very quick. I mean, he is by the guy before he even knows it, by 2 of them, and goes in and makes the block that leads to a recovery in the end zone. So again, I think he lends himself to being a very quick and agile player. And teams that don't block him, this is what's going to happen to you. He's going to run you down. So you've got to block the young man. And that's the given of it, because he's got too much quicks and too much speed to let him go unblocked in any scheme. Again, the ability to run away and chase from behind, a very good pass rusher in that sense. Here he is playing a 3 technique on the inside. Does a good job of playing over the top, finding the angle, and then he's going to make the tackle downfield. Great effort on that play. Again, very impressive young man. Another great recruit for Indiana. Here he does a good job on a counter play where he's stacking, and he's able to just bolt everything up there because of the offensive lineman not being able to punch through him, and he does a great job of stacking it there and creating no lanes and making the play. But Indiana's 2026 defensive side of the football, a lot of commitments on that side. You can tell it's a big priority for Curt Cignetti and the staff, and they've picked up some solid defensive players, and Ronnell figures into that equation, as you can see his ability on the field. And like I said, he's 6'4", 245, only a junior, and imagine how much he is going to grow over the next year and get even better. Indiana's got themselves a young man that can provide a lot of depth to that area of the field for Indiana as a edge player. And he's a type of guy physically that stacks up well enough that he could potentially come in and be competing for that 2 deep roster spot at the edge. And that's the fact that Indiana has done a great job with this class, that there are going to be a lot of guys that are going to come in and provide competition for all those around them. And that's what makes you a very good defense, is having guys that have competition, guys that have very different type of skill sets, and ones that have very high skill sets. And Ronnell is one of those guys that has a high skill set. Like I said, this group thus far has vaulted them into the top 25 or 6 in that area, within the top 10 in the Big Ten in this recruiting class, one of the highest classes that I could ever remember. But it only counts when you get them to December, because there's a lot of time between now and then. But everything right now for Coach Cignetti and this recruiting class that they've got on paper looks to be a darn good one, and one that will be difficult to match in years to come. And I know Coach Cignetti's answer to that is that they'll get better in terms of getting the top tier talent in the country. And that is done by winning and showing them that when they come to Indiana, they're going to grow them as a player and get them ready for their next step, if that's what they want to be as an NFL player. And most kids do. And Indiana's a place that can happen at. Well, I thank you for joining me here again on another recruiting breakdown. This time, Ronnell Jackson out of Blue Springs, Missouri, 6'4", 245-pound edge player, 4-star, giving Indiana a top 25, 26 class as of now, in the top 10 for the Big Ten. Stay tuned to everything Indiana football right here on the Hoosier Tailgate on thehoosier.com. For now, I'm the coach, Shannon Griffith. We'll see you next time right here on the Hoosier Tailgate.